Cable Bahamas has always been considered the innovator.
People can have confidence in Cable Bahamas as a mobile operator because of our past history. We've proven to the Bahamian community that we are in fact able to manage additional services as a telecommunications company.
Customers expect the best from Cable Bahamas.
The technology that we bring is revolutionary technology because we know that the Bahamian public, they deserve it, and Cable Bahamas is here to bring it to them.
We are ready. Turn us on.
Government to pay Bahamar workers August salaries. This as the AG reveals her daughters have interests in Bahamar. Officials break ground on a hotel and residential development in downtown Nassau, plus another man shot and killed in a vehicle. We've got those stories and a whole lot more tonight. I'm Juanitude and NV12 starts now. Topping news tonight, government has committed to paying the salaries of Bahamar's Bahamian employees for the second consecutive month. However, Attorney General Allison Maynard Gibson said it would be deplorable for the Christie administration to use taxpayers' money to cover the salaries of foreign workers. Dana Smith reports.
The Attorney General said funding the Bahamar payroll yet again is in the best interest of the Bahamian people, and she reiterated Bahamar employees should not be used as pawns. Government is paying Bahamar salaries using the money it owes the developer for the rerouted West Bay Street.
The interests of the Bahamian people must prevail. As I indicated, we are not prepared to allow the Bahamian people to be used as pawns. And so those salaries, it's coming from money that is owed to the entity. And so those salaries will be paid from that money.
Government paid out millions of dollars in salaries last month for Bahamian workers at Bahamar, but the resort's CEO, Sarkis Ismailian, slammed the Christie administration for refusing to pay its expatriate workers, calling the decision deplorable. While Maynard Gibson made it clear paying foreign workers is simply not going to happen.
I'll respond in the way that somebody said to me, a Bahamian voter. It would be deplorable if the government of the Bahamas did use taxpayer money to pay foreign employees.
Deputy Prime Minister Philip Davis told the Tribune government will pay salaries from the $21 million it owes Bahamar until that money runs out. When asked if she could say for how long government will pay the salaries, the Attorney General explained she doesn't want it to come to that point, and government is hoping the Bahamar saga will be resolved soon.
We really hope that the matter will be resolved, and so I really don't want to go all the way down there. It's conjecture. Let's hope that the matter can be resolved so that not just those employees, but the many persons that have contracts there, contractors that right now are suffering because they can't pay their bank loans, and so many others that are depending on this project will get relief. The interest of the Bahamian people is first and foremost in the mind of the Prime Minister.
As for who exactly is holding up the process, the Attorney General suggested it's the resort's CEO, pointing to Sarkis Ismailian's refusal to sign off on a required guarantee.
The outstanding matter is a guarantee. It's still a guarantee. On June 26th, it was a guarantee from Mr. Ismailian. When we went back to China for our second trip, the matters to do with the construction were resolved and commercial disputes were resolved, save for the matter of the guarantee. So at the moment, it is the matter of the guarantee. We are hopeful that Mr. Ismailian will make a step in the right direction and the parties will be able to resolve this matter amongst themselves.
China Exim Bank proposed to loan Bahamar an additional $200 million to finish its project on the condition that Bahamar or its contractor provide a guarantee. But Ismailian had proposed government provide a sovereign guarantee instead. The Attorney General explained today, ultimately the matter rests with Ismailian and it's up to him to resolve the dispute.
I can't speak for Mr. Ismailian. We urge him to do so. We urge him to continue to engage the parties. He is the person that signed, the developer that signed the contract. He brought these parties to the table, and we hope that he can resolve his disputes with his contracting parties.
Maynard Gibson said although bilateral conversations between the three contractual parties, Bahamar, Exim Bank, and China Construction America, may be ongoing, further negotiations between those parties and government are not continuing. But the Attorney General added the Prime Minister remains open to any possibility of settling the matter. Reporting for NB12, I'm Dana Smith.
Free National Movement leader Dr. Hubert Minnis is demanding that Prime Minister Perry Christie reveal whether any sitting cabinet minister or member of parliament has interests in Bahamar. His comments come as the Attorney General revealed that her two daughters own a business that has shops in Bahamar. However, she insisted there is no conflict of interest.
Well, there isn't a conflict of interest at all. A conflict of interest would mean that I would be getting some benefit from acting as the Attorney General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I am not personally getting any benefit. In fact, my children are losing, as are other Bahamians suffering while the project is closed.
Amid questions over PLP's interests in Bahamar, Attorney General Alison Maynard Gibson dismissed any suggestion that her daughter's interests in Bahamar could be considered a conflict of interest. Maynard Gibson, who was a guest on More 94's show Real Talk Live with Ortland Bodie, said Prime Minister Perry Christie is fully aware that her children's business has shops in Bahamar. She said the stalled project has negatively affected them, but she hopes her duties as Attorney General do not negatively affect their business.
Right now, just like everybody else who's on shutdowns, they are losing money, and the bank is calling for repayment of loans. And let me go further. So they are losing, and I'll go further that to the extent that there may be any retribution, and I hope that there isn't, but for my fighting for the Bahamian people and doing my job as the Attorney General, it would mean that my daughters would lose the leases that they now have in those shops at Bahamar. I'm hoping that there isn't.
Well, opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis insisted the AG must give more information than that.
I would love to see the details. I would love to see the details. Whether there was fair and open transparency, and we were not placed in government to just favor individuals or favor those whom we know or family members. Right. We were placed and we made a commitment for all.
This latest development comes one day after Fort Charlotte MP Dr. Andre Rollins asserted it would be an indictment on the Christie administration and an embarrassment for the country if any sitting member of cabinet has an ownership interest in that development. Rollins said in a statement last evening, further to the subject of negotiation, members of the government's negotiating and cabinet teams must be seen to be honest brokers who lack any conflicting interests in their efforts to negotiate a settlement. They cannot effectively represent the interests of the Bahamian people if they are simultaneously protecting their own. The opposition leader agrees.
It would be interesting to see whether any sitting member of parliament, especially government or cabinet minister, have any form of contract, because that's conflict of interest. That's conflict of interest, and that is utilizing your position for a particular advantage. And anything, if anything like that is discovered, then that particular cabinet minister should automatically be fired or dismissed.
Minnis says there must be greater transparency to ensure no one is operating in darkness. We asked Minnis if he is aware of any such conflicts.
If I did, believe me, if I did, and I had evidence that members of Christie's cabinet or members of Christie's government were involved in contract or had personal contract with Bahamar or involved with any conflict of interest, believe me, I would be demanding for them being fired or resign immediately.
Meantime, government officials gathered at British Colonial Hilton Gardens today for the groundbreaking of The Point, a new world-class 7-acre lifestyle hotel and residential development. Kyle Joaquin has that story.
They're calling it a world lifestyle and residential development, and once complete, officials hope the Point right here next to the Hilton will become the most sought-after destination in the region. In 2 years, the downtown area will serve as the home of a new luxury hotel known as The Point. Expected to open in 2017, the Point is the first step in the transformation of downtown since CCA purchased the British Colonial Hilton 9 months ago. The $250 million project overlooking Nassau Harbor will comprise of 200 rooms and a slew of amenities and attractions for guests to enjoy. At today's groundbreaking ceremony, Chairman and President of CCA, Ning Wan, said CCA will be the sole developer and contractor of the project. He said in having that control, CCA would see to it that their project is completed on time.
The Point will not only bring a new vibrancy and new entertainment activities to the area, but it will also become a catalyst for the future redevelopment of downtown Nassau and attract significant future capital investment that will benefit the local economy.
Scheduled for launch in 2017, the Point will lead the way as the first important step towards the redevelopment of downtown Nassau into a thriving epicenter of culture, commerce, and recreation for visitors and local alike. Our goal is for this property to be used by tourists and Bahamians alike, all enjoying the many activities, shows, restaurants, and live performances.
CCA is the company that built the Thomas A. Robertson National Stadium as well as Bahamar. The chairman said he's looking forward to government's help in having all sides reach an agreement so the Bahamar Resort could be completed and opened. As for the Point, it's expected to create 200 jobs during construction and 500 permanent jobs once complete. Christie said with their plans for downtown and the hotel's proximity to Cruiseport, it will become an extraordinary development in the heart of Nassau, all thanks to CCA.
I wanted to have a sense of the size of this company and its meaning, because if I heard him correctly, I thought, as I told him when he came back, he said on the North American side, the revenue was $2 billion. So I said, well, what is your revenue worldwide? And he said, put up your hand if I'm wrong, $150 billion.
Christie said he's proud of the relationship the Bahamas has forged with the People's Republic of China. CCA plans to offer all the needs of its guests within the hotel, inclusive of restaurants, movie theaters, bowling alleys, as well as a boutique store.
And located right at the western tip of a busy downtown area, officials hope that once complete, the Point will be in a league of its own. Reporting from the Hilton for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
From the crime beat, police are searching for the gunman who shot and killed a 35-year-old man whose body was found inside a car on Cordo Avenue and East Street this morning. This latest killing comes less than 2 days after a man was shot and killed in a vehicle off Augusta Street. Simone Davis has the details.
A 35-year-old man is dead and another is fighting for his life following an early morning car chase which ended in the East Street area. Police responded to reports of gunshots being fired on East Street and Cordo Avenue. When they arrived at the scene, head of the Central Detective Unit, Chief Superintendent Paul Roll, said they found a 35-year-old man dead in a Honda.
Officers came into this area where they observed at the junction of East Street and Cordo Avenue, a burgundy Honda Accord that was stopped at the junction. Upon examining this vehicle, observe a male slouch over the driver's seat of this vehicle. They appeared to have been shot. EMS was summoned to the scene and pronounced this male lifeless.
While police have not given an official identity, we understand that the victim's name is Jeffrey John Tellis, also known as Pagala. Roll said shortly after the man's body was discovered, police were informed that another male turned up at the Princess Margaret Hospital, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. He had previously been shot in the face and neck. Roll said the man is currently listed in critical condition. Police believe he was in the vehicle the deceased was found in.
Looking at the vehicle, it appeared as though a second person may have been shot as well. And we know that about probably 10-15 minutes later, a second male presented himself to accident and emergency section of the Princess Margaret Hospital, suffering from gunshot injuries to the face and neck. He is presently listed in critical condition.
He said police also believe the homicide was a result of a car chase and subsequent shootout. Homicide detectives are now searching for those responsible for this latest killing.
We are not quite certain as to what all transacted, but it appears as though this vehicle was being pursued by another vehicle, and the shooting started further south here in the area of Bahamar Avenue and came to a stop here where there seemed to have been an exchange of gunfire at this junction.
It's the second murder in less than 48 hours. 58-year-old James McKenzie was shot and killed around 10 p.m. Tuesday near Augusta Street. Police say McKenzie was driving his white Suzuki when he was shot in the head. He then crashed into a fence. The murder count for the year now stands at 91. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.